So I can see that someone is sleeping. You know, how do I judge whether you're sleeping or not? Your head is like this. Those whose head are like this, they're not meditating. If you're meditating, you're not sleeping, your head should be like this and not like this. You're cheating yourself, actually, you're not meditating. So, the first meditation technique that we use today is to break your habitual perpetuation of your mental affliction thought. So you have an anxiety coming up, you have rage coming up, arrogance, unhappy feelings. Don't continue with a second thought. Break it up with a focus. You require the training. It's not a one-time deal. It's a 100-time deal. When you get used to it, then you're the controller of your own mind because you can control your thought. When your monkey is gone, just put it back. Don't hate your monkey. You have to be compassionate to yourself. Don't hate yourself. How come I couldn't do it? How come I always have that desultory thought, it goes away? Be compassionate to yourself. Don't hate the monkey. Don't hate the fact that you can't do it now. You have to gradually build up that focus. That's number one. If you can't even do that, you really have to continue with the medication, and that's no good for you. I'm sure you can do it, because there's another side effect coming from it. If you can control your thought at that level, you can also induce your mind to do whatever you want to achieve. That's the reason why some positive thinkers said that whatever the mind can conceive, the mind can do. So if you train a teenager or school students to be a good meditator, he'll do good at school. So if you're a parent, if your parents training your teenagers at home, you really have to give him some time for meditation so that he can control his own thought, so that he can tell himself, I want to achieve that A in mathematics. I want to achieve that and that. Because he's actually auto-suggesting himself by controlling his thought. That's number one. Just now we heard some noises upstairs, moving tables around. There's like a distraction. You have to let that go. That's a sound that gets into your eardrums. You have to let that go. So at the same time when you are doing this focus, there will be disturbances, for sure. Those kind of disturbances, when they come, don't hate it. I hate that guy moving tables around here while I'm meditating. I got to report him. Don't put hatred on it. Just let it go. Let it float out. Don't add hatred on anything. And don't add hatred on the depression. How come I'm useless? How come I always have this feeling? I don't like myself. Be compassionate to yourself. Number one. Okay, let's go on to the next one. We still have some time left. Contemplation. In Vimalakriti Sutra, Vaimokit Mantrist Bodhisattva asks Vimalakriti Upasaka, how does one practice in order to get rid of mental afflictions? Vimalakriti answer, one must meditate with the right contemplation. Satipatthana. The right contemplation is satipatthana. What is satipatthana? Other than focus, we must have focus is to discontinue your erroneous thinking pattern. But contemplation is to give wisdom to it. It's two parts. One is the concentration. The other is the wisdom that you induce in your meditation. And let's go into that wisdom. How do we practice satipatthana? The right contemplation. So, a thought of anxiety comes up. A thought of greediness comes up. A thought of laziness comes up. A thought of sensual desire comes up. A thought of addiction to alcohol comes up. It comes up in you. Next, be aware of the rising of that thought. Oh yeah, that depression comes up now. That anxiety comes up now. That greediness comes up now. That egoistic feeling comes up now. You have to be aware of it. Our problem is we're not even aware. We're not even aware that the problems are there. We just continue with it. You tell the gambler not to gamble. He's aware that gambling is not that good. It's not good. But he continue and continue because he's not aware. So you must be, the first step in Satipatthana is you must know that thought comes up. The third, watch the thought with the four contemplations. What are the four contemplations? We'll deal with them. You must, okay, that thought comes up. You are aware of it now. You must use something, some insightful contemplation to dissolve that thought. And then finally, let go of that thought. Then you will let go of that thought. You have to go through some rationalization in order to let it go. But how do we get into the details of it? What is this four contemplations? What are these four contemplations? How do we dissolve this thought? A thought comes up, arises in the mind. Immediately, you are aware of the rising of such thought. You distance yourself from it. Don't follow the thought. Whisper to yourself, this is a thought of anxiety that is coming up now. I must not follow it. I'll let it go. I'll let it go. It's a thought of greediness. It's a thought of addiction. It's a thought that's egoistic. I must let go of that thought. It's a thought of attachment. So distance yourself from it. You are aware of it. Third, watch the thought with the four contemplations. What are the four contemplations? Number one, now this thought makes me feel uncomfortable. My heartbeat is faster. My respiration is faster. I feel my hormones is working. My hatred is working in me. I dislike it. I hate it. I feel depressive. I feel angry. I'll let go of it. Take a deep breath and relax myself. Because that psychological feeling affects you physiologically. And when an emotion comes up, it's not just the psychological part of it. It's not just the thinking. It's also the feeling. Because when a thought of anxiety comes up, the brain actually is in three parts. Your limbic system, which is your emotional brain, and then your cerebral cortex, which is your learning brain, your rational brain, and there's also the spinal cord and the spinal stem, which is your survival brain. When anxiety comes up, when emotion comes up, it strikes your limbic system, which sends messages to the amygdala. Amygdalas are the two loops inside your brain, which send messages to say, I'm not happy. I hate that guy. I dislike my dad. I hate my mom. I don't like my friends. How come I have no value? That would send messages to your amygdala, and the amygdala would, at the same time, if it's not being controlled by your hippocampus in your brain, it would secrete hormones of anger, hormones of anxiety, and it would go through all your body. So in other words, you don't think that it's just a psychological problem, it's a physiological problem. Your respiration increase, your heartbeat increase, it affects your body. So immediately take a deep breath and say, I'll let it go. I'm not going to think about it. Or you can get back to your inner anapanasati. That's your focus. Get back to that one. Watch the thought. Number one, with the four contemplation. That's the number one step. Number two, the thought of anxiety is just a thought. It's just a feeling of anxiety that has no substance in itself. I must let it go. It's not me. The thought is not me. How come I identify myself with the thought? It's not me. I must let it go. My feeling of suffering is unpleasurable. I don't like the feeling. It's not happiness. I dislike the feeling, but that's just a feeling. That feeling is not me. I just identify myself with that feeling. Third, this thought is only temporary and not everlasting. It would not last all the time. 是无常的。这个是十念处，观身不净，观受是苦，观心无常，观法无我。This thought is only temporary and not lasting. How come I thought it would be lasting? How come I thought that it would be hurting me? It's going to go anyway. Number 4, this thought is certainly not me. I'm not the thought. Neither am I the feeling. I'm not the feeling, I'm not the thought. But why do I have to identify myself with that feeling? Isn't that stupid? I'm stupid to identify myself with this anxiety. So I have to watch it with the 4 contemplations. It takes training. This part is for those that when you're sitting in meditation, you're using your breath in and out, you're doing your focus all right, and then all these disturbances have flowed out. But all of a sudden, I remember my company, it's going through a lot of troubles, and I may lose my job. And, oh, gee, I have a lot of worries. What happened? My colleagues are stabbing my back, and tomorrow when I go back there, I don't like it. And here, my wife, I don't know, I'm suspicious of my wife. He's not doing well, you know. All kinds of this thought. You have to use that. This thought is not lasting. This thought is not me. This thought is a thought of suspicions. I must let it go. It's not easy. It's difficult. But if you keep on training yourself like that, you detach yourself from it. So, right now, as far as meditation is concerned, we have 2 parts. One is the samatha, which is the focus. The other part is the vipassana, which is to analyze your problem, analyze the thought that you're involved with. If there's the thought of bankruptcy then you have to deal with, you deal with it. If there is a problem, you just deal with it, but don't identify your feeling with the problem. That problem comes up because you make a mistake. So you make a mistake, you try to correct the mistakes. Mistakes can be corrected. You live at the present moment. At the present moment, here and now, you're happy. You don't be disturbed by all these externalities that are going to affect you. That takes training. So there's both part, the concentration and the contemplation. You must be able to practice it. Nothing comes easy. You thought you come to a session like this and you solve your emotional problem? Not that easy. You are the master of your own fate, not medicine. You can do it. Do you go through a training? Do you have the patience? Are you persistent? So that's the meditation part. I only have about an hour to go. But let's go into another part. That's to deal with the sound. That's silent meditation we're talking about. You can do it at home. You can do it in a park. Some people, in Hong Kong, it's so crammed. You know, we don't have big houses for a lot of people. You can do it in the morning. If you are just in the room, just get on your bed and practice that anapanasati in and out breath and distance yourself from it and do the meditation at home. You have to train. You need the training, not just talking about it. It's easy to talk about theories if you don't practice it. What's the point of the theory? And if you can pick that up and get used to it, you can help your friends. You can, not only in the anxiety, if you are in the control of your own mind, whatever your mind can conceive, the mind can do, you can apply that to whatever you do. Your mind is strong enough that you can change it. You are what your mind is all about, not about externalities. Next, let's explore another area, sound therapy. People think about Buddhism as something like that. Oh, how come you're chanting the name of a Buddha? How come you're chanting a mantra? You mean that deity is going to protect you? I don't see that deity. I don't see a God in there, so how come you're superstitious? Let's analyze by mixing science and divinity and spirituality together and see how they can tie to each other. How can they synchronize with each other? What is sound therapy? For thousands of years, sound has been successfully used by man as powerful healing mechanism. Sound as a mystic, the mystery of sound. Many researchers have proven that the healing properties of sound, including ultrasound and consciousness altering audible sound, can work gradually and gently to return to the body's own vibrations to their natural states. For example, the highly focused and fast vibrations used in ultrasound is now being used in hospitals to break up kidney stones. You know how powerful sound is? If you can focus sound, conjure up its frequency, you don't have to operate on the body. You just use the highly focused sound to break kidney stones. The power of sound it's incredible, it's inconceivable. Sound is a mystery, it's a mystic. Sound vibrations can lower heart rate variability, relax brain wave patterns, and reduce respiratory rates. That's the reason why people listen to music. Some music is soothing. Some music can heal. Gregorian church music, they have the same effect. Don't be biased. Only Buddhist mantras have effect. Oh, there's music that is designed to soothe to synchronize your left and right cerebral cortex would work. Using the human voice that resonates to stimulate healing, sound therapy is one of the growing number of subtle energy therapies that make up the field of vibrational medicine. Right now, vibrational medicine is so prevalent in North America. They use the vibration as kind of medicine to solve problems in clinics. So that's sound therapy. And it's science. It's proven. And how do we tie this science to actual divinity? Certain sounds help to synchronize our fluctuating brain waves by providing a stable frequency which the brain waves can attune to. By using a repetition of rhythm and frequency, we can harmonize our brain waves. From a regular waking mind is in a beta state, to a relaxed mode of alpha state. That's the state of the brain waves. We have a beta, alpha, and then we go a higher level, the meditative state, which is the theta stage, and then to a deep meditating state, we call it the delta stage. So it's all in stages. Your brain waves is in stages. And then in sound therapy, it is the frequency of the vibration that is being applied in the healing process. In sound therapy, they apply the frequency of the vibration. It's just like in ultrasound, they focus the vibrations and break the kidney stones. But in meditation therapy, it's even more inconceivable. Sound is still a matter. Consciousness is beyond matter. Can you see consciousness? We can see consciousness. Consciousness pertains to meditation, to the mind therapy, and sound is the frequency of vibrations. That's the reason why we're chanting mantra. We're chanting the name of a Buddha. We're chanting Om Mani Padme Hum. We're chanting all kinds of mantras. That is sound therapy. Don't look at it with superstition. It's a synchronization of the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of the brain, of the prefrontal lobes, of the cerebral cortex that you have. It's all about neuroscience. Nothing to do with just God or deity or Buddha. So we already have explored into the transformation of consciousness. In the Vijnanamatratha, or in the Yogacara approach of Buddhism, or the study of the mind, the ultimate objective of studying Vijnanamatratha, or consciousness only, is to transform tainted consciousness into pure wisdom. That's a higher level process, to transform even the consciousness into purity. Sound is to resolve the matter that we have. That's enough. That's enough for dealing with anxiety. So let's explore some more. Scientists have discovered that certain brain waves, frequencies, may relieve stress and anxiety, facilitate a deep physical relaxation and mental clarity, increase verbal ability, and also the performance of IQ, EQ, and better synchronize the two hemispheres of the brain, helps creative thinking, reduce pain, promote euphoria as a result of stimulating the release of endorphins. Endorphins is kind of hormones that gives you the euphoria, the happiness, and relieve pain. It's a good hormone. But sound can do that. And I would like to introduce you to North American studies by Jonathan Goleman. You can research that into Google, or get into the internet, look at healing sounds. At the beginning of the session, I said already, this session is going to be a mixture of spirituality, science, neuroscience, psychology, vibrational medicine, not just about Buddha, not just about chanting a mantra or prostrating, not about that. We are trying to tie the two together so that you know and I know that it's all rational. You can follow a thinking pattern on it. Jonathan Goleman, Healing Sounds, very, very prolific writer and researchers on healing sounds. Okay, then let's get into something divinity, spiritual. From what we know about sound therapy, then we know why the monks are chanting mantra. You know why the monks are chanting a sutra. It's a kind of sound therapy. It's a very effective sound therapy to mental afflictions. For those who are Buddhists, now you know that you've been doing the right thing. You are going through every day when you're chanting Namo Guan Cheng Pusa, Namo Amitabha, Om Mani Padme Hum, you are actually doing sound therapy, synchronizing your left hemisphere with the right hemisphere. So don't do it just for 5 minutes. So I ask some of my laymen and say, oh, you want to request something, you're not in good health, and what are you doing? I am invoking Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva Guan Pusa to help me. And I said, how much are you chanting? I'm chanting 3 times Om Mani Padme Hum. 3 times Om Mani Padme Hum for 1 minute, not more than 1 minute, and you invoke the Bodhisattva to help you, just using half a minute, you can do it. Not even half an hour. I'll tell you later in my slides that there are certain techniques that you must apply in order to make your chanting effective. Now from sound therapy, we know that chanting mantra is extremely effective. Plus, if you're using not consciousness altering sound, if you're using machine sound or medical vibrational sound, it's not human sound. You're not relying on a deity's energy. Whereas if you are chanting a mantra, at the same time you're connecting your personal energetic frequency with those of the divinity at a higher level. In other words, you are getting that channel, universal channels right there. You're connecting your energy to the Bodhisattva's energy. He's going to flow the energy to you. So other than the sound therapy that you're experiencing now, you're actually depending on a higher level existence to give you the help. It's more than just created sound therapy. It's a self-created, spiritual, divine, higher level energy that you are invoking. It has multiple effects in it. So you should chant every day. So don't do it for 5 minutes. I'm very disappointed. 1 hour. You have 1 hour to spend in your walk chaps and whatever you have, and you don't have 1 hour for the chanting. Well, when you are taking dating, everybody is doing this. You know what they're doing? They're talking nonsense. They spend hours and hours on this little machine. They don't have time for chanting. Poor. They're distributing some papers for Q&A, and you can write your question in English, then I'll answer in English. You can write your question in Chinese, then I'll answer in Chinese. You just write down whether you want 广东话 or 普通话。如果是你要普通话回答你的问题，因为有普通话的人嘛，你就想我要普通话回答我的问题，我就用普通话回答你的问题了。So you can write your question in English, or you can write your question in Chinese, and you can also write your question in French, but I can't help you. I can't help you with that. Sorry. Next, self-created sounds such as chanting a mantra or sutra will cause the left and the right hemispheres of the brain to synchronize. What is the left hemisphere of the brain? The right hemisphere of the brain. Everybody has that. What are the functions? What is the functions of the left hemisphere? Your left hemisphere, which is here, is the ego center, including all learning, logical reasoning, analysis, language center to describe, define, categorize, communicate, emotions, anxiety, fear, and so everything is in here, in your left hemisphere. The right hemisphere is a spiritual center, abundant with divinity, empathic, blissful, peaceful tranquility, inward contemplation, and free of attachment, no self. Which one are you tapping into every day? Every day we're tapping in here, not in here, because of our karmic energy that pull us to the left side. Recitation of sacred mantras, sutras, actually causes the right hemisphere, which is the spiritual side of the brain, in effect the body and mind, to become attuned with divine energy. When one chants a mantra or for an extended period of time, one's vibration of sound frequency can invoke higher energies of bodhisattvas, becoming one and united with the energies. So more than just creating energy, a self-creating energy, actually you are tying your frequencies with a universal channel. It's just like when you're using your cell phone. There's a certain frequency you tie with certain stations. When you tune your radio station, 1470, 1330, they have a frequency in which you tune it to. Once you tune to that level, you get all the messages, you get all the energy from the Bodhisattva. Do you want to tune it? Or you just don't care, you just desultorily just tune anywhere you don't even care where that universal station is. It's right there. The Buddha is right there. The Bodhisattva is right there. The deity is right there. He's waiting to help you, but you must know his phone number. His phone number is the frequency. You got to connect the frequency. And what is that phone number? The name. But you have to explain to your youngsters that chanting a mantra is not superstitious. It's about science. It's about vibrational medicine. It's about sound therapy. It can increase your confidence. If you don't have confidence, you increase your confidence by chanting. I'm going to give you a story. Have you read this book? My Stroke of Insight by Jill Taylor. She is a neuroscientist. She's teaching in Harvard, teaching all the doctors neuroanatomy. an expert in the field. She knows everything about the anatomy of brain. What happened to her? One morning, she had a hemorrhage, a rupture on the left brain. It's broken. He had a stroke. She had a stroke. She couldn't talk, she couldn't write, she couldn't even move. She became a vegetation. But the good thing about being a neuroscientist is she knew everything about the right side of the brain. Where the messages are, where the stations are. She didn't give up. In her mind, she said, I don't want to be fearful. I don't want to give up. I want to use the right side of my hemisphere to nurture my left side. I know everything about here. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to have a lot of confidence. I will do it. I'll recover. She was using her right hemisphere to nurture the left one. And after 8 years of struggle, she recovered 98%. And here's the story. And here's the book that I want to introduce to you. Some people may have read it already. It's a true story about details of how you use your vision, your willpower, what you know about the right brain to nurture the left one. On the morning of 10/1996, Jill Taylor, a young Harvard-trained brain scientist, experienced a massive stroke when the blood vessels exploded in the left side of her brain. A neuroanatomist by profession, she observed her own mind completely deteriorated to the point she lost the ability to walk, talk, read, write, recall any of her life. She became a vegetation, simply put. So, as the damaged left side of her brain, which is the rational, logical, detailed, time-oriented, swung out of function, Taylor alternated between two distinct and opposite realities. The euphoric nirvana of the intuitive and emotional right brain. So the right brain is about nirvana, about enlightenment, about meditation, about focus, about no self, no ego. She's using that. And she became successful. She was able to recover. She later gained full recovery through the intimate experience of awakening her own injured left brain through the function of the right brain. The journey of recovery took 8 years for Jill to feel completely healed. Taylor completely repaired her brain. So it's very important that when you're dealing with your anxiety, you know that this is responsible for your anxiety. That's your amygdala. That's the messages you receive when you got the emotions, not here. So how do we do it then? Why do we bring out this? Let's take a look at some of the neuroscience. What happened to your brain? We have to remember that the left side of the brain, which is here, logical, time includes now, past, and future, all kinds of attachment, language center, the describe, define, categorize, and communicate, ego center. That is your ego center. Analytical, outward contemplation and attachment. That's the problem area. That's the karmic area, which bring all the karma accumulated, is all stored in here. The right side, divinity, timeless only with the moment of now. That's the reason why when some of the meditators, experienced meditators said, we meditate here and now. We meditate anapanasati, in and out breath, here and now. What is here now? We tap into the right side of the brain, not into the left side. Not about internal commentator and everything. Not about bias, not about ego. And then, going a little deeper into what we're talking about, sound therapy. What's the power of mantra chanting? How do we use mantra chanting to heal anxiety, to heal emotions? How do we use mantra power to make you successful in what you're doing, to give you more confidence. Here's what we should do. During chanting, our physiological changes are occurring. When you're doing the chanting, your endorphins is producing more. Your hormones work. Your physiological changes come about. You feel happy. You feel inner peace. You feel you're in prayers because you tap into the right hemisphere of the cerebral cortex, which is the spirituality. The effectiveness of the power of chanting depends on a number of things. Your focus, your intention, your repetition, vocalization, and your visualization. Visualization, you may or may not use it. If you can use it, it will be better. Even if you don't use visualization, it will still work. But if you can visualize, it will be much better. So what do? Focus plus intention plus repetition plus vocalization plus visualization will give you the most effectiveness. What do we mean by intention? Because when you are chanting, you have a wish that you want to come true. Right now, I'm not healthy. I wish to chant that Bodhisattva will bestow on me good health. You have an intention. You can't achieve without any intention, can you? You just chant and you do any intention, so what are you achieving? You don't even have a destination. You don't even have an objective. You have to set your objective in mind. I want to change my anxiety. I don't want any more depression. I want to be successful. I want to do good at university. I want to do my job so that I will be as productive as possible. You can be whatever you want to be. It's in you, not in God. You have that God in you. You don't have to look for it. The God is never outside. The God is right here, in here, right here and now. Don't look for it. There was a story I got from one of those sutras. There was a nun in the Tang Dynasty, and she spent 20 years with her master, learning meditation. And she felt that her master's meditation techniques are not effective, and she thought, I had to go somewhere else. So she bid farewell to the old master, as she wanted to travel to all different temples and want to learn meditation, because you always think that something remote is always better. So he traveled out of the place to look for techniques of meditation, and after traveling for 25 years, she thought that, oh, this is time to go home. I learned something, but let me go home to visit my old master. So she would return home, and as she was walking under a whole avenues of cherry trees, she sniffed in the fragrance of the cherry trees. And all of a sudden, she got enlightenment. And she uttered a poem. The poem says something like this, because in my internal translation, I have to say in Chinese first. 到處尋春不見春. I am looking for spring everywhere. I can't find it. I'm translating it to you right now. So the Chinese is 到處尋春不見春. I'm looking for spring, and I couldn't find it. 望鞋踏破嶺頭雲. I have traveled so much that I wore out a few pairs of my shoes already. 歸來偶過梅花下. When I returned to my own home, my temple home, my home temple, 春在枝頭已十分. The spring has always been at home. I didn't have to look for anywhere. Spring is always at home. Why do I have to look for spring outside? It's right in me. To get an enlightenment. Don't look for anywhere. Right in you. If you practice what you've got today, which I regurgitated from what I know about the Buddhist teaching, it's enough for you to work through your whole lifetime. Depends on how you practiced it. You can watch 100 videos, 600 books, and go from one temple to another, from one meditation hall to another. Spring is right in your heart. Don't look for it. Repetition is very important. Always have to repeat. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. The power comes from repetition. The sound power comes from repetition. Just 3 times? No. Not enough. 1,000 times until it becomes strong. So you need to repeat and repeat and repeat. And then you say, I don't have enough time. No, it does not matter. When you're taking the station, when you are, subway station, you always, instead of looking at the WhatsApp and doing all these devices and checking all this, why don't you just close your eyes and say, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme. You still can do it. You can just do it when you are walking, when you're working. You always keep that mantra in your mind working inside of you. Vocalization. Of course, when you're in the subway, you don't vocalize it. Otherwise, the guys say, what are you doing? Are you out of your mind? What are you doing? So when you are all by yourself, you need to vocalize it. You need to say it out. Don't just whisper. Just say it out so that you can listen to it. You can listen back to your eardrums. Visualization, if you can visualize the deity or the Bodhisattva, visualize the image so that your visualization will help you in your focus, in your intention, in your repetition. That would really work. That's the power of sound therapy. But in the ancient days, when they wrote, when sutras were translated, they didn't mention that word sound therapy, but that's in it. Chanting is sound therapy. So when your chanting has become a habit with the persistent firmness of intent, the effect will come to you. You don't have to look for it. So, given all that information, can you chant for 10 minutes? Do you have that piece of paper in front of you? Okay, let's chant the Peacock King Mantra. It's a very energetic mantra, and this is the gesticulation, the mudra for it, like a peacock King Mantra. And then when you chant, Om Mayura Grante Swaha. When you're chanting in it, you focused on it, you focus on the power of it, you focus on the intention, you're repeating it all the time, you vocalized it. It's important that you vocalized it. Don't whisper. Can you say that out? Om Mayura Grante Swaha. Of course, there's meaning in it. In a session like this, I can't explain everything. Actually, I should have explained to you the benefits of it and how do you chant it, how you do a gesticulation. Why do we do the gesticulation? That represents, because karma is produced out of body action. You need to purify your body action. This is a symbolizing that right now I'm not doing any killing, lying, I'm not doing any misbehavior. I am concentrating on this good behavior, and I symbolize it by gesticulation. So that's the behavior part of the purity. And then the sound part of the purity is in the mantra itself. And then the thought is visualizing, thinking about the repetition, thinking about the focus, and thinking about the visualization of the image. So that's what you're doing right here. And let's do it now. Okay, now I'll start and say that out loud, and you can close your eyes, focused on it, and chant it out in harmony. Om Mayura Grande Swaha. 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 Om Mayura Karande 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 Swaha. Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. 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 Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. 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 Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. 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 Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande Swaha. Om Mayura Karande. Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Om Mayura Karande Swaha, 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 Om Mayura Karande Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura De Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha, Om Mayura Karande Swaha. You may put your hands down. The next one that we would like to try it out is the Six Syllables Mantra. The Om Mani Padme Hum is a very common, prevalent mantra, especially in Tibet. Chanting the mantra invokes the powerful benevolent attention and blessings of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Guan Cheng, Om Mani Padme Hum. So what's the meaning of Om? Om is the origin of all sounds and the origin of all benevolent deeds. That's Om. Om, Ah, Hum are the very basic sounds of the universe. Om is a very mystical, divine, spiritual sound. So Om. Mani means the most precious jewel, diamond, symbolizing our Buddha nature. So we have that Buddha nature in us, which is the most precious that we have to reveal, unravel. So we have to find that inside. So that's Mani. Mani means the most precious jewel, which means the Buddha nature in us. Padme means lotus. Lotus grown from the mud. Mud is dirty mud, but the lotus itself is so pure, it springs out from the mud. So we have to learn to be like a lotus. But if you learn to be like a lotus, you must be able to purify all your senses, to purify all your 8 consciousnesses. Your eyes, your ears, your nose, your body, your manu consciousness, your manas consciousness, and your alaya consciousness. You have to purify your consciousnesses. Of course, in the transformation of all the tainted consciousnesses into pure wisdom, you have to go through certain procedures, and that's the topic of Vijnana Matrata, which not a lot in school that we're not going to cover here today. It's profound, and it takes a lot of time to explain that. Home, every time when a mantra is chanted, a seed, a bodhi seed is planted in your alaya consciousness. So every time you Om Mani Padme Hum, that seed is planted in you. It will never go away. It's always in there. It's just like when you key into a computer. That is always in your memory. It's always stay there. So the more you chant, the more power it comes. So next, we're going to chant this Om Mani Padme Hum. All right? Okay, let's chant this. You have to vocalize it. And this is your mudra, your gesticulations. Like as if you're holding a lotus. And that's Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Padme Hum. Om Mani 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 Padme Hum. The third mantra that we want to try it out, actually not just chanting a mantra, chanting a sutra will have the same effect. So when you are chanting a sutra has all the explanations in it. The effect of chanting or reciting a sutra is the same as chanting a mantra. It depends on the consciousness at the time of chanting. So the next one we would like to try it out is Medicine Buddha by Sajya Guru. Now it's Om by Sajya Samagati Swaha. So it's Pisasa Sambukyati Swaha. 汉文就是这样诵的。Om by Sajya Samagati Swaha. By Sajya is medicine. Medicine to heal. That's the right path. Swaha, that means accomplishments of all benevolent deeds. So, Om by Sajya, Zamagade Swaha. The Medicine Buddhist mantra is renowned for healing. However, moreover, it empowers us to neutralize past bad karma, bring good fortune to those in need, and follow the path to enlightenment. So, this is the last mantra for tonight. It's going to be 5 o'clock. So I said tonight before we depart. We still have to answer this Q&A questions. Okay. Om by Sajya Samagati Swaha. 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 Om Baisaje, Baisaje, Baisaja, Samagati, Swaha. Om Baisaje, Baisaje, Baisaja, Samagati, Swaha. The last item on the agenda is, if you have family members and friends who suffer from depression, how should you help? How do you help them? Here's a poem. Do you really know what I need right now? I am a patient of anxiety, a patient of depression. What I want is your support and kindness. Please don't laugh or frown at me when I cry. Please don't tell me what I ought to do. I have already known the reasons of emotions. Just sit quietly by my side and do it with me. Don't blame me. Don't frown at me. Live with me. I know all the reasons. I can get into Google to get all the theories, reasoning of depression. But I need your support. So what do? To help those who get through depression, you must give them what they truly need, not didactic lessons on what they ought to think or feel, but learning to accept and care for them as they are in the present moment. Today, you learn all these techniques. Can you brush them up and tell them to do this? Focus. Break the habitual pattern of thought of depression. Break it by using concentration, this focus, in and out anapanasati. Research into anapanasati. How do you use this focus to break the habitual pattern of thinking of depression, anxiety, ADHD, phobia, fear? Break it. And then add in the wisdom. When you're meditating, think about emptiness. Think about no self. Think about this thought is not me. Why do I have to identify myself with me? This is temporary. This is not forever. Why do I have to agonize on it? Why do I attach to it? Put wisdom into it. Analyze it. And then use sound therapy. Chant a mantra. Chant a sutra. Invoke help from others. That works scientifically and spiritually. So why can't we, more than just living with them, listening to them, don't blame them, we'll help them out by introducing all these techniques. Develop the powers of patient listening, understanding, and compassion to provide healing to their mind and let the teachings of the Dharma shine through into their soul. The Buddha's teaching, nothing about superstition, nothing about blind faith. It's about healing, it's about compassion, it's about giving, not about worshiping. It's about understanding your mind, knowing that of the others, those of the others, and synchronize both. Synchronize both your right hemisphere with the left hemisphere, your spiritual side with the rational side. Harmonize it, tapping into it. That resource is unlimited. Explore it. Going through that enlightenment odyssey to find out the truth. Don't bias yourself with the intuitive superstition idea. It's scientific. It's neuroscience. It's psychology.